Alright, so here I am in the mall. I'm just going to do a quick test flight here just so you can see what it's like. I have a frame rate counter in the lower left there. It's locked to my monitor's refresh rate, and my monitor's set to 30 hertz, so therefore I've got 30 frames. Let's go ahead and try and take off here. Alright, so we're up and away. As you can see, the runway textures have been changed somewhat. A little bit darker now. This is all default scenery. Default everything, actually. No add-ons. As you'll notice here that we have speed trees, lots of them. In fact, pretty much 12 speed trees all the way to the horizon. Now, as you can see, the speed trees do come with a bit of a performance penalty here. I'm dropping down to 24, 26 frames a second. But also bear in mind I do have everything maxed out. Let's do a quick pause. So as you can see, these are all speed trees. They have quite a bit more detail than the regular trees. They're not just simple X's. They're a bit more filled out. If you see, look from top view, they look better. But the only downside to them is they don't fill out the area quite as well as non-speed trees. They are all animated, so on a windy day you'll see the trees moving around, and that's all of them within a detailed view distance. Now keep in mind this is all default here, no third party. We'll get into that later. Part 2 or part 3. This is just really a quick intro into a base default scenery package. I like the trees. The only thing is that they do tend to have a bit of a performance penalty with them, and they're not quite as dense or dense looking, I should say, as the default trees. So, but all is not lost. We can switch these trees out rather easily by going to our UI here, and under options, graphics, what is it, world, I believe, and uncheck this option here, dynamic 3D auto gen vegetation. So let's uncheck that and hit OK. Now this requires a restart, so when we hit OK, we're not going to see any difference. They're all going to be speed trees. So we're going to have to exit. And reload version 4. Alright, here we are back in our trusty mall. Let's go ahead and do another flight. Notice the trees are now on the standard trees that you would find in Prepar3D version 3. And frame rate is fairly consistent, locked at 30 here. go ahead and take a look at our trees. External view. As you can see here, these are the standard X-looking trees. They're still not bad. I actually haven't really decided which I prefer. As you can see, the auto-gen distance is pretty staggering. Everything's been drawn out to the horizon, basically. Keep in mind, this is all default. If you also notice the use of SSA, or I should say SSAA, super sampling, rather than multi-sampling, tends to produce a cleaner, sharper image with less anti-aliasing. I should say with less jagged lines. As you can see from these trees, are quite a bit different than the standard trees. But if you've got the performance to spare, go ahead and load up the speed trees. My initial take though is I'm probably going to stick with the old style trees just because they look good enough and they perform very well. So here's a night scene. Now you're not going to see a heck of a lot of dynamic lighting here because so far there's no scenery that's been developed that uses the dynamic lighting. But if you can tell from the aircraft, you've got dynamic lighting in effect there on the aircraft, back of the tail, and the navigation lights. And if we turn on the main lights, you should see, if I get close enough to the ground, there we go. So with dynamic lights enabled, you'll see the aircraft lighting up the ground below, including the trees, buildings, you name it. Now this is certainly not limited to any particular aircraft. You can put dynamic lights anywhere you like. You can put them in buildings, any kind of object, anything that's in the 3D world. You can have dynamic lights for. And here we are from external view. I'm trying to land the aircraft from here. So bouncy, bouncy. If you notice, you can see the reflections of the navigation and strobe lights on the ground. That's no longer an exclusive kind of feature, and no trickery needed. one very bad landing. And it lights up the buildings. Alright, back to the desktop here. Prepar3D version 4 does support Track IR5. There's nothing special you need to do. Just make sure you've got your SimConnect XML file squared away where it needs to be. If you're not sure where that is, it's over here in the v4 directory, the same place as it would be in the v3 directory. And there's your SimConnect file. Open this as Notepad, and there we go, one SimConnect file. And the important piece in this file is your IP address right there. So Track IR should work fine, so let's fire it up. And there we have it. Alright, Track IR. I'm set up and installed. Let's go ahead and align it. There we go. Centered. I like precision mode myself. I have the kind of auto centering enabled here. Precision mode is F7, as you can see down in the corner here. That enables precision mode. Let's go ahead and shrink it. And let's go ahead and fire up Prepar3D. I don't know what that was. Okay, don't need that. Alrighty. So here we are back in Prepar3D version 4. Let's go ahead and let's pick a different airport this time. If you notice, the selected airport layout is different. Similar functionality, just the layout's a little bit different. Let's go ahead and go to, Lowy. That's a fairly common hotspot. Building storms. No, let's just do clear skies for now. And maybe don't want to do dusk. Let's do it a little bit earlier than dusk so we get some good shadows. And let's hit OK. Alright, so I'm back, and here we are in, this is Real Air's Legacy. This aircraft is semi-functional. There are a few things that don't work. A couple of sounds don't come on. But beyond that, it's still flyable. I can get this to go the right way. There we go. As you can see, it does fire up and it does start. Most of the functions work, not all, but it's a good testament of Real Air's compatibility and sticking by the P3D version 3 rules and coming up with an aircraft that mostly works. Frame rate is pretty bad here. I'm running my extreme settings here, and I have loaded Orbix Southern California. So I'm pretty much as maxed out as I can be here. So let's go give this thing a try and see what happens. Let's park and brake off. Alright, that wasn't the best of takeoffs. Gear is up. Ease back a bit on the power. This is, what is this? This is Northern California, actually. Sorry, not Southern California. This is Orbix maxed out. And again, I'm running my very high detail shadows. Which you can see is kind of struggling the frame rate here. But it does look good. Now, I'll probably change the shadow settings back in the Prepar3D.cfg back to their normal settings, just so I can recover a little frame rate here. I am, like I said, maxed out in just about everything. Visually, it's pretty stunning. There seems to be a few hiccups with the sound. Like I said, this is beta of version 4, and maybe hopefully we can sort that out. But one of the issues with third-party aircraft have been sound modules, so we'll see how that pans out. Again, this is basically everything maxed out. And this is the San Francisco Bay Area, my hometown. That's San Francisco Airport over there, TSFO. Again, this is not a demonstration of performance, this is really a demonstration of how extreme you can go on the graphic settings and still manage to make it somewhat flyable here. And it also shows there is some compatibility with the Real Air Legacy. As we move away from the city, frame rate starts to pick up a bit. Put some speed brakes on. This is my hometown here. There's Mount Diablo, my hiking and biking spot. My house is somewhere over there. And there's Concord Airport. Flaps down. See if we can't land this thing. And a little off here. I guess we put the flaps down a bit early. Oh well. As you can tell, there's no gear sound. This is a short runway. You think I would know this area by now? I must admit, I've never come in from this direction before. And down and safe. Alright, let me go ahead and exit and change the config file and remove those extreme shadow settings and see if we can bump performance up a little bit. Okay, here we are back in Concord, KCCR. I've added a little rain to the mix, and I switched over to the DC3. This is a freeware DC3 from, I believe, it's Manfred's. And as you can see, we're back at Concord here. The only changes I've made is with the cloud settings. I've reduced our quality somewhat, and performance has picked up considerably. So let's go ahead and do a quick flight here. quick weather change and time change. Let's go ahead and take off from Orbix, Southern California. The airport is KLAX. As you can see, the frame rate's not great, but the auto-gen distance is maxed out. Also, another thing to note is the stars have actually been slightly enlarged for 4K monitors, so they're a little bit more visible. Or I should say for 4K resolutions. Our dawn lights have just now gone off. And as you can see, the auto-gen is just keeps drawing. It's just all the way as far as I can see. And again, this is Orbix, Southern California. Just to re-emphasize, my graphic settings are extreme. I got 4x SSAA, which is a better quality AA. All textures maxed out, and Anisotropic is maxed out. All these are maxed out, max. I don't have that. I got the regular trees. Max, reflections, terrain, vehicle, building, water detail is ultra, shadow quality max, dynamic lights, landing lights, even lens flare. Most of the shadow options, with the exception of receive on sim objects, buildings enabled, clouds and terrain. So as you can see, it's an extensive or fairly extreme graphic setting. As we move away from LA area, our frame rate starts to increase. visibility I set to 30 miles. So it's that's the haze setting. Just give you an idea of just how much autogen is being drawn.